right. Welcome once again. we apologize for that brief interruption there, but just to say again, good morning and welcome to this morning. It's always good to be back, and I'm joined with my co-host Ibrahim Abalde as well as our newspaper review guest Mamadou Mbodj. Thank you so much, gentlemen, for joining me. It's Thursday, you know, fruitful conversation since Monday. Gaaw bu buga dee nak week bi. Man pour man gannaaw barki démb la woon Monday, but it's Thursday already. We're trying to wrap up the week here. So yeah, Ibrahima, welcome.
Waaw dafa gaaw week bi
is man Monday maa ngi remember.
Waaw
bu ñu fi toogee.
yaagut mu ngi laa woon ne comme affaire yëpp dafa gaaw. sooy def dara def ko mu teel. Anything that you do it, make sure you do it very
na gaaw daal
early, na gaaw, you know. So it's good to be here. It's another Thursday cool morning. You know, it rained, and you know how I enjoy rain in the morning before you come to work. So, whoever, let them interpret it anyhow they want. But I mean, I have my own interpretation
of it.
Wow.
Te doo ko interpréter fii si programme
never.
this morning.
It can never happen here.
Munta mun na am de.
Wow.
Waaye man xam nga li ma jaaxal. Depuis bu ma jógee fële maa ngi sol suma abaya yu jógee Dubai. Doo ma dee lifin sax.
No, why be
last time maa la remind.
No, bi xool naa ko ba ma ne la xanaa bi Dubai la.
Bii Dubai la jógee ah.
Tey déedéet la.
Dubai la jógee. Bii bi su moo end programme bi su moo end dinaa leen jox number bi foo leen ko mën a oodee. Yow Gambian si aka ñoo supportive Gambian si biti. Yow remittances rek boo ko xoolee nga xam ne Gambian si dañ supportive. Not to talk of nga dem seen dëkka ñu xam ne seen dëkka nga nekk dëgg.
non ñoo amee réew mi
ah ñoo amee réew mi de
ñoo amee réew mi soo seetee luy dugga si biir fii.
waaw
ñoo amee réew mi.
ah man daal ñu ngi maa solal di ma jox ay abaya yu baax may sol appreciate naa ko de. so fi mu nekk nii should we get into the program? Should we jump into it?
ñu laajte Mr. Mbodj naka la démbam doxee.
démba te boo waxee na gaaw mu ngi ree kon na gaaw wala
sa démba nu mu doxee ak taw bi si suba si nu mu demee dañ bëgg a xam nu mu demee quoi.
yoo xam nga nu mu dee demee all the time rek.
mun naa am mu xaw a different quoi.
no really well fii dañ fi dee nekk ba guddi soo juddee rek yaa ngaa tëddi.
I like that. I like that.
Mr. Mbodj bum ne na gaaw. ree nga de na gaaw bi.
na gaaw
fuñ si toll loolu comme lan xanaa yow naka nga interpréter na gaaw bi.
no xam nga the other day ñu ngi doon wax ñu ngi amoon benn African proverb.
waaw
something like that. as if I can't remember the exact words. waaye mu ngi ne boo teelee set out. the road that they seem short.
Wow.
As it were, than nga late.
Wow.
I'm taking it in that context. Nga gaaw.
Wow.
Pour nga jóg gaaw a def. Then hit your sa
Waaw
dina sotti.
waaw man sa basically lu ma nekk di wax mooy. I mean gaaw bi in the sense that looy def rek def ko teel. because léegi la jeena ba wax ne. week bi dafa gaaw.
waaw ba pare sax sometimes ngay bëgg a def dara nit yi naan la doo xaar tuuti. xale nga wala lii comme léegi nit ñi déglootuñ loolu de parce que week bi gis nga week bi nu mu gaawee. at yi noonu la gaawee nga toog si at bi man daf ma dee naxari at jeex ma toog si at bi ma xool lan laa def si at bi and then satisfy ma man loolu daf ma dee it kind of affects me. I'm not saying I have a list ay resolution moom dugatuma si because dëgg du dee work pour man waaye at least dama dee bëgg a gis tangible things yoo xam ne dëgg man Jeena Sonko achieve naa ko te at bi nu mu gaawee nii na gaaw rek la ko mën a achieve.
waaw na gaaw de.
kese
use that slogan na gaaw rek.
waaw
you know dafa war a gaaw.
gars yi dañ dee wax ne time flies when you're having fun. xëy na yéen a ngi am too much fun this week. moo tax time bi gaaw. si gars yi ne su fekkee ne yaa ngi def lu la neex.
waaw
time daf dee gaaw be it is sooy def lu la neexut la they seem so slow.
waaw.
you know what I mean. So this is really
dafa
the
mel ni ku tëdd prison rek xam nga kooku du ne dafa gaaw.
or if you sick
kooku dafa yéex.
also sigee.
waaye soo demee ceeb bu neex.
waaw
ay time daf dee gaaw be.
daf dee gaaw anyway suñu African proverb bi tey mu ngi wax ne you must attend to your business with the vendor in the market and not the noise of the market. You must attend to your business with the vendor in the market and not the noise of the market.
Wow, this is telling you to focus on your dreams. I mean, you have to focus. You don't have to be distracted. Along the way, I mean, there'll be a whole lot of, you know, it's going to be a bumpy road. But, I mean, you just have to be focused and, you know, see how best to achieve what you want. I mean, this is what it's talking about.
Okay.
Yeah.
Mr. Mbodj?
Yes, really, the focus bit. With him you use the word on your dreams, maybe I'll say focus on what is significant. I think this is essentially what this is telling
But your dreams are significant.
Why come in a general context, maybe?
Yeah, fine, granted. But for me, I prefer the term focus on what is significant. Even for that, I have to make a judgment. A lot of things that sort of holds our attention, perhaps that's really the mere noise of life. Sometimes we even get angry over mere noise. So much is just destructive. Wow. For me, even I can look at life as if it's a market. You see all sorts of people, you know, doing all sorts of things. Wow. So that's how do you fit in? Wow. So I must recognize, hey, in this, what is significant? Wow. And then I wouldn't allow the noise to distract me.
Do you remember, Mr. Mbouch? It's better said than done. Societal pressures,
that's why experience comes in. It's with experience you learn to control yourself. That's it. In youth, you know, the blood is running fast.
Wow.
You're like, yeah. So that's it. You want to experiment, which is not bad at all. I did some experimenting in my youth, but gradually you settle into.
But by the time, Mr. Mbouch, how many years time social media amuton? Higna wasu ame rumo la moneka si konbe. Yeah, you understand? When you legi dañ tolu fo xamne pour noise bi affect sa mental health dafa yomba. Because social media dara suñ ko sene ñu sen ko broadcast list si nit mu aga within 2 seconds mu aga si the whole aduna. Understand nga? So ñun really pour ñu fight lolu si ñun suñ jamono dega mo gëna metti sen jamono.
And I have to tell you this, man ñewuma len. Even though you've got your internet, you've got all this stuff, we've lived pre-internet.
Wow.
So we can get on our lives, we can move on our lives with or without. You know what I mean? But with you people, you can't.
It's difficult.
That's it. You seem so
attached,
sort of colonized.
Wow,
this is very interesting. You've been colonized by your own inventions.
Xam nga luy issue bi sax ba pare gis nga léegi ñun dañ tollu fo jamono boo xam ne ñun suñ zaari nii dañ mean internet bi. Recently maa ngi Selena Gomez, she's actually a singer. She had to be out of social media for about 4 months pour dem defar mental health comme okay psychologically because dafa traumatized, all these things going on, and according to her boom gaining social media for 4 months, now she's a different person. You know, she feels all cleansed.
Well, Jenna, I'll just give you a bright example. Wow. So seete da nga gis ne comme social media, I mean mu ngi affect suñu life si.
Torop sax.
You know, let's take this to the ñu jël marriage as an example. Wow. Da nga at some point need dafa concentrate more on his or her phone than concentrating, you know, on her family. Why so jëlee sa phone bi nga tek ko nga ne okay, I'm gonna place my phone at least for a day ma concentrate si suma family bi. Da nga gis ne soo ko tegee rek dañ dee am a peace of mind.
Waaw waaye ooj bi dafa dee nekk pour nga dem pick up sa phone bi to go on Twitter or Facebook or anywhere.
It's very difficult.
Dafa difficult.
You know, it's very difficult.
Ibrahima and Jainaba, in life, I mean, God, if it is not difficult, it's really not worth doing.
Yeah.
There must be personal responsibility. You simply cannot blame the existence of the technology. You know what I mean? It doesn't come to you and force you. So you must prioritize. You must decide. It's a personal decision in the end. We simply cannot be blaming this, blaming that. Yes, this is what the world is. So you must decide what to do.
Yeah, that's just it.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You can go on social media, but it's a bit like food. Try to have a balanced diet.
Wow.
Few hours this, another hour that. That's how do you manage your time? How do you spread it across many different things? You know what I mean? So it's just a matter of common sense, taking personal responsibility, not ducking it, not you know, blaming the medium.
All right. So from that advice coming from Mr. Mbouch to Jainaba and Ibrahima, Mr. Mbouch was like Jainaba and Ibrahima. Yes. So come from him to us.
Absolutely.
You know, we go with that. So we'll go
it's
for
like
a
my two children.
And we are. I learn a lot from you every single day. You know that anyway. So we will go for a short commercial break, and when we come back, we'll head right on to the newspaper review. We'll be right back.
Jongoma, jongoma. Wow, kaito Tobaski ak style bu ne jaar na QTV waaye 2022 bii ak suñu ñawkat yi ak QTV li ñu nar a wone dafa nar a tegu ci cas.
bii dafa nar a spécial ndax xam ngeen li tax dañu yokku cere dolli ñeex nekk nag event bu mag boo xam ne ñëpp a ngi koy xaar dafa bëri nag ay surprise ñang baalo
suñu ñawkat yi ñu am ci réew mi nee nañu pare nañ ba pare di jot waaw kañ la nag on the 10 June incha allahu rabbi fan lay xewee ca Q City ticket yi ñaata
ordinary 400 VIP 700 dong lañ leen laaj
waxtu wa kañ la juróom-ñaari waxtu sevi na ku la bëgg naa saal ba riir ñëpp toog
ñu ne mboor waalee ga ca biir ngir bégal askan wi ak kan
ak Cheikh Fall mi nga xam ne moo ànd ak waa Daaray Lamp Fall Cheikh Fall dina indi téeméeri tam ak junney sabar
maa la wax lii ticket yi nag ku ko bëgg am na Qcell ci buntu bi ak Q City ci buntu bi ordinary 400 VIP 700 ne
Tobaski ak style ren ji ànd ci ak QTV masu fee am
ngama approval ngama that's why my trust is all for ya.
Welcome back from that break. If you're just tuning in, you're watching QTV this morning. And now, Ibrahim, we head right on to the newspaper review.
Yes, I mean, this is the Point newspaper, and some of the headlines read, VP says doesn't mind sacking for being truthful, and of course, alleged homosexual to appear in court over raping 12-year-old boy. Victims urge government to take concrete steps for Jammeh to face justice, and food safety without laboratory to establish alleged presence of sniper insecticide in smoked fish. Dr. Tangara attends first ministerial meeting of African Atlantic states. That's the Point newspaper. And some of the headlines of the Fourier newspaper reads, oil spillage affects fishermen biodiversity at Mandinari. And of course, Department of Planning review Gambia's performance in the third biennial report. Government promises to professionalize Gambia's security to earn citizens' respect. And we have the land minister, new land minister towards Combo South District. And on the editorial, we have commission of inquiry needed on the oil spill.
Another commission of inquiry. Okay. So moving on, this is The Voice. Security should not be taken for granted, says VP Juve. And also here, whatever part government chooses, Yaya Jammeh has to be extradited. And also fishermen request cold storage facility from government. And Honorable Cisse urges government to stabilize high cost of basic commodities. And Jammeh's victims call on government to take concrete steps towards justice. And here, VP Juve again urges ministers to help address high cost of living. Okay, wonder how ministers can do that. Yeah, so that is all we have here.
Yes.
Mr. Mbuj. Another commission of inquiry. Mr. Mbuj, do you think setting up commissions of inquiries frequently when whatever issue arises is the best way to approach problems that we face as a country?
Obviously not. With some issues, one can understand why one might need a commission of inquiry as such. But here, obviously, an inquiry of some sort is required. We need to know is required. We need to know what's happened. Whether it's going to be a commission of inquiry or something else, because Gam Petroleum itself can have a committee and they look into it. Yeah, they can do it internally and stuff like that. Maybe here there is a hint there's a trust, kind of undertone of maybe you don't trust them that they will do
you need like an independent body.
So I think they're trying to smuggle in that idea of having an independent body doing it. But certainly something happened. They said they even took a boat to go around to look for themselves, some reporters. There's something happened. It's affecting people, livelihoods, as they said. Fishermen, they've quoted a few there in the paper, fishermen complaining and all the rest of it. So naturally we must look into it. What happened? How can we prevent something like that happening again? Because we know that apparently when they were offloading fuel, one of the pipes, there was something wrong with one of the pipes, so that was how the spillage happened. how can we allow that to happen? You know, stuff like that. So obviously, yes.
Mr. Butch, I mean, I think sometimes the way people portray things. I mean, yesterday I was able to engage 2 people from Mandinari. I mean, they work at the fuel depot. When I spoke to them, one is my friend. We discuss a lot, and he is this very honest guy. I said to him, what is happening at the storage facility? He said to me, bro, I said, what? He said to me, the way people portray things, the way they carry this information, is as if there was spillage all over the riverside. He said, the area they are claiming that, I mean, there is fuel spillage, it's not true. He said
there's no spillage at all.
No, there is. But, I mean, the way people are portraying it, according to him, it's not as serious as the way people are portraying this. He said to me, the way people film these things, or the way people send information, it's not like that. He said when they were, I think, offloading fuel from one of the tanks, they realized there was a leakage at one of the pipes. So quickly, they stopped what they were doing, then they sealed the pipe that was leaking. Yeah, he said to me, if you go to the other area where people go and fish, and where you have that leakage, is totally different. According to him, National Disaster Management was there. You understand? National Disaster Management was there, but I mean, when they send their drones, they were there to send their drones. Some of them send their drones up to Tendaba. But actually, according to what he said, National Disaster Management in fact said to them, the way people are taking this is totally
Mr. Mboj, my point in this particular situation is I do not have a problem with that person saying it's not as bad as, but it's bad. Truth is, there's this problem where most of the time when these kinds of issues happen, there's already a little excuse or institutions saying, oh, all institutions have lapses. That's just the excuse all of the time. You know, in as much as maybe he's saying it is portrayed somehow, but the reality is it happened. Even minimal oil spills, it's something big. Looking at the consequences it can bring. I have
not seen any point, for me, I've not seen any point setting up a commission of inquiry.
Right, that is why I asked that question.
It's another way of eating our money.
I'm not sure about that.
So let's go back to context. Yes, they were offloading fuel. Sometimes accidents do happen.
Right.
Yeah, we accept that, yes. But when accidents happen, how do you respond? I think what Baldo was saying is that they were offloading, an accident happened, but they responded quickly and acted responsibly. This is really what the context is. Some people are claiming that they've been affected by it. They've quoted a few fishermen, and you're saying a different story. So perhaps we should go into the story as journalists and try to extract the facts.
One thing they agree.
Because environmental, man, I speak to the environmental activists. Understand? Man feel na they are responsible people inga hamne duñ aggravate dara si level bo hamne agu fa because they see na dafa post environmental. Come mandal, my problem is the issue of excuses. Like you mentioned, ninko responde, ninka lañ communicate. When this thing happen, ana ñom send communication buñ wax gëna ne li diga this is the magnitude.
But you know, be careful, because earlier on we were talking about social media, and you know how they tend to amplify or exaggerate situations.
True.
So let us be careful here, not rush to judgment.
Yeah, I'm not. It's not my place. Okay. Yeah. So really, right now we're just moving on to this. Looking at both newspapers, 3 of them, we can see that the new vice president's speech is captured. You know, they're trying to break it down, talking about security, talking about high cost of living, talking about the fact that if he's even truthful and then an authority believes that, you know, it's not good enough, he does not mind to be sacked. That is what he is saying. So we will take a look at his speech a little bit. Obviously, we can't discuss all of it today, but in subsequent morning shows, we will try to break it down, because you can see that his speech really touched on different sectors of our economy, and he's the new vice president expected. So let's take a look at this snippet, and when we come back, we'll have a little discussion, which will follow in subsequent morning shows.
A month after President Adama Barrow appointed a new cabinet a maiden cabinet retreat sees all sectors of government represented, including almost all cabinet ministers, permanent secretaries, heads of departments and agencies, and others. The discussions focus on 10 key thematic priority areas, namely civil service reform, security, cost of living, employment, land issues, educational reform including TVET, the environment, foreign policy, migration and tourism. They represent perhaps the most significant development challenges facing the country. The Vice President of the Gambia, Dr. Aliou Badara Diouf, gives the opening remarks.
The Gambian people have great expectations. And it reminds me of two writers. Charles Dickens wrote Great Expectations. Chinua Achebe wrote No Longer at Ease. The Gambian people have great expectations, and they are no longer at ease. To make them at ease, we have to deliver the development agenda of this government, our government.
Civil service reform is top of the priority areas, as this is an important part of the state machinery that facilitates the much-needed socio-economic development of the country. Vice President Diouf suggests a roadmap to achieve this.
To have an effective and efficient civil service, we have to have an intermural focus of the civil service, do an assessment of the civil service, do a profiling of the civil service, have a baseline, set benchmarks, design a performance contract, which will include, among other things, training.
On the security sector, VP Diouf acknowledges that government needs to mobilize resources to be more effective, efficient and professional, adding that security cannot be taken for granted. He also expressed government's commitment to supporting our men and women in uniform to achieve this goal. One pressing issue affecting the population is the skyrocketing cost of living, which the cabinet retreat will address to find a sustainable solution. The Vice President calls on stakeholders in the government and business sectors to reflect on the problem to address it.
If the cost of living goes through the roof, it could break marriages, it could create animosity in the family, because people will begin having 1 meal a day instead of 3 meals a day. And then people become agitated, emotional, because there's nothing in the pocket. And you ask for something, then they are irritated. It leads to chaos and crisis.
As the cabinet retreat wraps up tomorrow, results from the discussions will help inform policy decisions to be incorporated into the government's upcoming national development plan.
All right, welcome from that. So, gentlemen, one thing I took, first of all, from that speech, great expectations, no longer at ease. Gambia has great expectations and no longer at ease, and the current government has a responsibility to make Gambians at ease.
Well,
I mean, how do we do that?
I think his speech would not have come at a better
Exactly.
time. I mean, Gambians, this is how Gambians are feeling at the moment.
Yeah.
I mean, the change of government, I mean, the reason why we change government, we were expecting, like, I mean, if at all there is a change of government, this government, it's going to wipe our tears. But Mr. Mboj, one thing I mean, I'm saying to myself right now, even if the vice president is giving one of the best speech, like in the country, but if you don't have people that will help you implement these things, it will still be the same thing.
Yeah. That's rhetoric is one thing. During the swearing-in ceremony, remember, of the new cabinet, the president used one line which stuck with me. He said, we are entering a new phase in our transition.
Right.
I think all of this really came from the president. He realized that, look, now campaigning is over. Let's face reality. There's a lot of work to do. Most of our institutions are being mismanaged. Nothing is really going right. So he made the changes he made. And Badara Aliou Diouf, you see, the first person I know was Badara Aliou Diouf. He used to be Aliou Badara Diouf. But to tell you that this is like business as unusual, as he called it. Business as unusual. So here, they're going to really up the ante. It's time to deliver.
Yeah. So he talked.
But that is simply the rhetoric. Now the action.
Yeah, very important points here. He's talking about road. He's talking about focusing so much on civil service, as in public service rather, because it's a retreat for public servants anyway. Talking about putting up a road map, you know, assessing the public service, you know, profiling it, having a baseline and all of that, you know, huge plans there. So what's your take on all of this, and how should we really approach it?
That's why they've created a new portfolio.
Yeah.
That's another Diouf. There, he's the head there. So obviously, look, we've been talking about institutional reform. This is the civil service. These are the administrators, as it were. These are the ones that would take policy and then translate that into action, into objectives, goals, and plans, and all the rest of it. So the kind of experience, the kind of competence, you need to do that. And we've known for a very long time. I mean, it used to take, if joining the civil service to becoming a PS, it used to take like 16, 20 years and the like. Afterwards, you don't even have to spend much time there for you to be elevated to a position beyond really your station, as it were. So there's a lot of dead wood, if one can call it that, within the civil service. A lot of people out there, they shouldn't be there. So that reform, that bringing back competence, without that, forget about investments in anything, forget about policy.
It will still be the same thing.
That machinery that's supposed to translate it is not working. So everybody knows that. I mean, how many times have we had these inquiries into certain public institutions and how they are managing things? We see mismanagement. Nobody is following procedure. We all know the cracks in there. That's really what he's talking about.
As much as, I mean, the vice president gave a very good speech, I mean, most people are impressed about it. For me, actually, I don't know why, but I am not impressed. I mean,
you're not moved?
I'm not moved.
Why?
Until when I see actions, until when I see things working in this country. We've seen people coming and telling us a whole lot of stuff, and we clap for them. But at the end of the time, things are still stagnant.
Well,
but this one, the tone, this one is different.
Exactly.
This one is slightly different. Exactly. This one is different. I'm not sure whether we've had a government official really come out so plainly, straightforward, and really talking to his own people, to the ministers, you know, sort of stressing the urgency, as it were, the seriousness of the situation. Now, there are no games. If we need to sack you, we will sack you.
Exactly.
Or
like
if I'm going to be sacked for telling
the
truth, for saying the truth, well, let them sack me, you know, stuff like that. But
it's not like a normal kind of, you know, minister or vice president kind of, you know.
And very interesting that he chose No Longer at Ease, Achebe's novel. I think it was the second of a trilogy. Of course, there was Things Fall Apart and this. And No Longer at Ease will tell you exactly why we are so difficult to rule. The person, but this is a lesson for him as well. Was it Obi, the character, came from England, had all these wonderful ideas about how he's going to improve his society. Gradually, the society bent him over and corrupted him. That is really the challenge we all face. How very instructive that he has chosen No Longer at Ease.
And also, you know, it's collective, Tamit. If you take a look at it, the changes that he's talking about, you're not moved, but also there are certain changes that has to come from us as individuals.
Exactly. This
not
is what
from just the government.
It's what I'm talking
even
about.
If you are saying you're not moved and they are pushed to doing things and we are not responding well, it will not happen.
I said that. I mean, if at all the people that are supposed to help the government implement these things are not ready to do it, it will still be the same thing.
I slightly disagree. Yes, of course, I always say this as well. It depends on the people in the end. But I think leadership matters.
It does, 100%.
This is really where leadership can lead, can stimulate something, and then lead, give us a direction, That's it. And then take us somewhere. Let's have a movement. So leadership, it will take leadership for any change to happen.
And also this speech, you cannot subtract leadership from this speech that he just gave. You know, this is one of the most important elements when it comes to leadership, the ability to communicate to your people. Like you said, it stimulates something. You know, listening to this speech means there are concepts that can actually change.
This is good. I mean, we want leaders that will come out at the end of the day and talk to us. We want to hear from them. But for me, the implementation part is what I'm talking about. Because I know if things are to work here, the mindset of the people of this country must change.
Yeah, but there are certain changes that might help. Yeah, right now you have sort of audit bodies that are doing their work. The media, now we are free. We can also look into things, and it appears as if the government is responsive to what people are saying, people are doing. So you have a lot of changes that would make it, I think, a bit more difficult for incompetent public officials to remain in office. I think there are subtle changes which have made the whole landscape, the whole ecology, a bit more perhaps hostile to incompetence and the like.
Yeah, the incompetence part, right? Yeah, so thank you so much, Mr. Mboch, for joining us on the newspaper review. So yeah, I'm afraid we have to let you go, sadly. So now we're heading right on to the community watch, and we'll be taking a look at the role of the military, you know, in terms of incorporating human rights studies, you know, gender-related matters, and the list goes on. So we'll be joined by Malik Sanyang, PRO of the Gambia Armed Forces. We'll be right back.
The biggest mobile money service in the Gambia has taken mobile banking to the next level. Now you can link your Q Money wallet with your bank account. Yes, link your Ajib or EcoBank accounts with your Q Money wallet and get instant access to your cash anytime. No need to queue at the bank anymore. Transfer funds from your bank account to your wallet or your wallet to your bank account using Q Money Bank Link is the fastest, most secure and convenient way to transfer funds between your wallet and bank account. For more information, call our customer care on 133. Q Money, Sunyu Kalpe. Terms and conditions apply.
As the fastest growing GSM company in the Gambia, QCell has the widest 4G plus coverage in the country, 3 times faster internet speed than our competitors. So switch now and dial *335# and enjoy what true 4G feels like. QCell, the Gambia's trusted network.
Okay, someone's just asking if I'm going to be a soldier this morning. You know, I want to come to the camp. Good morning, Mr. Malik Sanyang, PRO of the Gambia Armed Forces. Man dama bëgg ñëw sol uniform of the Gambia Armed Forces. Wane suma boppa. Ibrahima dem na fi place ba naka la tudda?
Fire service.
Fire service. Man nak ma wara ñëw ci army bi.
You're more than welcome.
I'm more than welcome.
And good morning as well.
Okay.
They are morning routine.
Why man tamit suma ñëwé I want those stars. Those stars that I'm seeing.
The 3-star general.
The 3-star general.
I'm sure the CDS is hearing you.
Okay, CDS, you know, honorable. I need these 3 stars. I need to be honored.
Man, there is no shortcut to these 3 stars.
I know. Anyway, welcome to the program. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
Yes, so our discussion today is going to be centered on, you know, incorporating human rights, you know, related matters as well as gender-related matters when it comes to the work of the Gambia Armed Forces. We saw an interesting headline the last time on Forea, because part of the really recommendations from the TRRC has to do with, you know, incorporating human rights studies when it comes to our security sector, which the Gambia Armed Forces is a part of. So what changes do you think that can really bring?
Well, first of all, I think it's going to be very interesting to upskill that part of incorporating that as part of our training modules. Just to say that human rights issues have always been an issue of discussion, and it has always been incorporated into our modules, but specifically for those earmarked for international peacekeeping usually. And I think this is going to be very interesting in the sense that instead of just centering it 80% on training those that are earmarked for international peacekeeping, you have folks that are around, a bulk of them, accessing it would be something phenomenal. I think it's going to be very interesting. But I think in one way or the other, I believe all the members of the armed forces at some point will tell you that they have experienced a situation where they were taken through these lessons, probably through refresher courses and so forth. But I believe this is going to give it much attention, thereby creating much credence on the area. Somewhat it will just kind of zoom it out more for people to be quite attentive to this area. And I think it's very important.
Okay, I can see blood donation. Blood donation day in front of us.
Yes,
I mean, now.
Some time ago, I mean, they were busy at this rendering humanitarian support to certain people that needs this. I mean, Malik, can you tell us, I mean, why is the Army involved in this?
Yes, the Chief of Defense Staff and the Army High Command in general thought it wise to kind of formalize the donation of blood, because day in, day out, the military is always inundated with requests of blood donation for patients that are usually, at our various health centers throughout the country. And this happens, regardless of the timing, in the evenings, late at night, early in the morning. And then it was thought wise to kind of organize it somewhat. And then make sure that, like, on the 14th of June is always internationally recognized for blood donors, to make sure that it is done in a bigger scale when all the military personnel serving in different units across the country will all storm major health centers throughout the country to donate blood. And this started since the past 2 years, and this year is no exception as well. On the 14th, on Tuesday, inshallah Rabbi, plans are afoot to making sure that a similar endeavor is undertaken. And the reason why this is so dear to the Army leadership is simply that you never know whose life you're going to save by donating blood. And usually we will overdonate, let me put it that way, because we will donate up to a point the hospital administration will actually tell us we no longer have storage for the excess of blood that is to be donated. And I think this is something that is a worthwhile venture.
Which means then we the health sector as well has to look at that particular area, improving our storage facilities, because in us we have a willing armed forces that is willing to donate. And then, blood, you can easily run out. People get sick every time. So I think really that should be looked into to see ways in which we can have the proper structures to really ensure that we have all these storage facilities that we need, as long as we have a willing body that is doing this every single year.
Gemma, this is the little that we can do, because we've already, the Armed Forces is the only institution that would say, okay, fine, come and join us, and then be ready to also, as part of your bargain, to sacrifice your life for the nation. So in peacetime, we are not in active war. So in peacetime, this is the least that we can do to tell you that, well, this is testament to the fact that we are always willing to give blood to making sure that, our territorial integrity, as per the Constitution, and then, the protection of life and property of the citizenry is assured.
And also, it's even part of it all, because if people are healthy at the end of the day, it's some form of security and protection for people. So it's directly really related.
Human security in general.
In general. So putting aside the blood donation day, which you've really delved into in depth, the Gambia Armed Forces at some point in time, was working towards getting into agriculture. Can you please update us? Because the last time we saw Mamat Ocham, that is the deputy CDS, am I right? Yes, talking about the fact that, yes, you were willing to do it, but then later a contract that was supposed to be between the Gambia Armed Forces as well as another body, really, you could not come to terms, at that point in time, as per that interview. So what can you tell us now? How far?
Well, as far as the Gambia Armed Forces is concerned, whatever we intend to go into, it's never going to be for Jairaba or for Balde.
Yes.
Simply because we know that there is always success out of command. You can start something today and then the next minute you're no longer there, someone is going to there. So
yes.
you're going to want to do something that is really, going to reflect good on you. And whatever we do, it has to serve the greater interest of the country.
Right.
Once that is not realized, once that is not recognized, we'll just pull away. And I think that is, we just have to be content with the wisdom of command to making sure that we shift away from that contract completely and then see what we can do inward.
Okay.
And that is the reason why we have a gardening project at Banjulunding,
okay.
A massive farm, and then some harvests were done, and then trials and errors here and there to perfect ourselves, to making sure that whenever we are fully ready with the necessary wherewithal available, we should be able to embark on this laudable initiative all by ourselves. However, we are not saying no to other partners.
Okay. But the contract really has to be fair.
Whichever partner is out there, know that whatever we do it for the sake of the country, and we are not looking for any special considerations. Let just the conditions be right.
Okay.
And then we shall oblige.
Yeah, and again, Ibrahima, part of the TRRC recommendations really is talking about crowd control. I know the Gambia Armed Forces comes at a point, the police is the first point of call when it comes to controlling these things. But if things go south, then obviously, you get to come in. Am I right here?
Yes.
That is the procedure.
Yes.
So which means no matter what, you are directly also involved when it comes to the training of crowd control, because there might be a point where you are needed, your services are needed, in as much as the police is the first point of call.
Yes, just to remind ourselves there, it's not entirely the police. That is a branch of the military, referred to as the Republican National Guard, which have equal policing powers. So whatever the police can do,
they can do it as well.
But it's just that there is that synergy and that understanding,
whereby they're the first point.
The police is the first point, and then the RNG could always,
come later
where necessary. Because when you look at our laws, you realize that certain caliber of weapons can only be used by members of the armed forces.
Yes,
so
exactly.
Based on those realities on the ground, we will have to provide the necessary backup. And then these trainings, keep on happening, in and out. Even during shortly before Operation, so I think it was 3 years just or something. The trainings that were all done, towards that. Actually, a bulk of it was done at the level of the armed forces, together with the other sister partners. So just to tell you that we are an integral part when it comes to crowd control, public order management, and so forth.
Yeah, but sometimes we see the authorities, as in the police or the military. Sometimes they don't act right. What is the problem? Sometimes we see party militants and then officials having problems where we see that you're using force on these particular individuals, and now the TRRC recommendation is saying this. Although it's the scale is going down, because these recommendations are reflecting Jammeh's time, but reality is some of these things are still happening. The evidence is there. So what will this add? This recommendation, what will it add to already existing trainings?
Yes, it will just remind all of us that we are the same people at the end of the day. Not to defend, but just to say that sometimes some of these things are very, very difficult. These are spontaneous activities that happen, and tensions are always high. And depending on who is on the ground, sometimes depending on your level of how to call it, susceptibility to succumb to pressure, a lot of factors could play in. But that's not an excuse. What is important is to make sure that whatever is done is done in line with the law. And I think it's a good reminder, for all of us to always bear this in mind.
Right.
Yes.
Yes.
Well,
I think that is important.
I'd love to know, PRO, I mean, what is Gambia Armed Forces doing? We can see recently they just concluded TRRC sittings. I mean, many people mention the Gambia Armed Forces, and they've painted the armed forces a lot. So what are you doing at least to show confidence again to the general public? Because most people are afraid of the armed forces. They think because members of the Gambia Armed Forces have been used to carry certain atrocities.
Well, what we've been doing, part of it is, here I am. And I think it wasn't the same before. Here I am sitting with you guys and discussing. So that's a testament to the fact that a lot of efforts have been put in place. And so I just want to remind you that let's look at those mentioned during the TRRC, and then we try to put them in a box against those who have not been mentioned. The Armed Forces is a very big institution, and then when you look at it, it's just a fraction that have been mentioned. And then looking at the revelations of the TRRC, right, we could really tell how those things were possible. So it's not the Armed Forces in general that was involved in some of the heinous crimes described during the TRRC. However, look at our engineering corps, for example. We are getting closer to the civil populace more and more. During the inauguration ceremony, within those few days, they were tasked with making sure that there is an automatic facelift to the Independence Stadium. And they were there. They got everywhere painted. Just in time to make sure that that happened. And then recently, I don't know if you have also noticed at the Kanifing General Hospital also, all the paintings that are going on there has been done by the Gambia Armed Forces Engineering Corps. Okay. The center at Ndemban also built by them. So we are getting closer to the public in all spheres. Just to build that confidence and then show that, well, we are the same. We could be having different viewpoints on different things, but then at the end of the day, we are here together. We are condemned, to exist. So we must find ways and means of existing, in a peaceful, manner.
Yeah. So coexisting in a peaceful manner, being inclusive. Yeah, I'm seeing this vegetable. I'll come to this just shortly before I forget, because man nyambi yu ma gis ni ak batanse yi man Ibrahima war nañoo dem de. So ko defé ñu def suñ ben cin bu baax. Fresh na de. Fresh na. So before we get into the gender aspect, we can simply talk about this. So li fan la dé dem? Yeen rek yeen ko dé lek wala da ngeen dé li? Yen wa Gambia Armed Forces rek dé togali lek.
No, you see how big they are. Gis nga nuñ day. Nuñ day moy pour won len rek
jahatu yi.
Jahatu yi yi. At the end of the day you realize ne ñun rek duñ mëna consume li at the end of the day. All our battalions will definitely go there to get these fresh vegetables and all those things. But at the end of the day, so remnants, sometimes you have some of these banners that will come around and say, well, you know what, there is scarcity of this particular thing in the market, and so then you guys cannot keep this here and then eat it all by yourselves. So we must also get our share, and then they will collect at the end of the new yobuko.
Why man jahatu yu magis ak batan say gisuma ko ci marché bi de yu dijé ni na man magej marché
fresh na de
li di jana xana dafa am benen fertilizer bo len de yu ci ami bi sen ana doole bi la motax man dama fogg ne doole ba tax batan say bek li bi am ni
li motax su ngeen ñu joxone little chance just trial like little chance you do get into agriculture, you'll be amazed. Because we have no room for complacency. Whatever we do, you either do it or you don't do it. So if you're going to do it right. Otherwise you don't do it. Even when you bunta bi rek.
No, dina ñëw sax. Dina ñëw.
So let's talk about gender. Gender mainstreaming tamit see activities of the Gambia Armed Forces. Because during the time with TRRC, there are a lot of issues when it comes to sexual and gender-based violence. Even women who are working in the military or security sector in general, sen bossy, di len buga saku pour hit na ñu am better positions ak yoyu nonu. So legi changes amna. How gender sensitive is the whole process? Ba pare tamit sometimes ñu dégg fi allegations yo xamné goor yi lañ dé gëna promote ni jigéen ñi duñ leen promote because dañoo ne jigéen lañ, this is fi nga wara am ak yooyu noonu loolu yëpp dégg nañ ko fi. So what changes?
The wisdom of command regarding gender issues led to the formation of a whole gender unit. Okay. And this is also headed by a senior female officer. And the reason why you create gender unit is to address issues, just like you've
because boss yi moom tem ñu bëgg a lii seen jigéen ñi di leen jéem a
waaw at some point gisoon nañ ko fii sax like déggoon nañ ko si sitting si that I mean dañ leen dee force nekkul army bi sax but at some point dañ leen dee force yóbbu leen trek
yóbbuwaale leen di leen laaj seen bopp yooyu yëpp gis nañ
so
yeah, but you know the military is a highly disciplined institution. So there are things yoo xam ne yow sa boppa di nga xam ne there are dire consequences su ma defee lii so you wouldn't even try it. Waaye da ngaa gis ne the gender unit has been formed and then headed by a female officer and then li ñoo wax noonu ne xëy na there is no parity in terms of promotion. Lulu amut because the issue is at the beginning the army was the army and then after some time we all witnessed what happened. You know, standards went down in terms of certain, you know, administrative norms. But at the end of the day, right now promotional exams, you know, is the thing of the day right now. And right now, maybe around next week or thereabout, you will witness another massive promotion ceremony. And promotion ceremony we neko ne danga talk rek kanami jenabala like or kanami baldela like and then pick that person, whether female or male. They are all subjected to exams. So you go through the exams. That is your due. You've served a particular number of years in a particular rank because it's all formulated. So all those that serve those number of years and are qualified will be given chance to go and sit to that exam. So they may sit and then you are able to make it. You are promoted, male or female. Once you don't make it also and you are not promoted, you don't have no one to blame but yourself. But I'm sure also not to preempt, but then soon the decoration will happen. And when it happens, you will of course see women that are there.
But I'm looking forward to that. Why the family 3 stars? Mobinum to that? These 3 stars.
There is no shortcut to these 3 stars.
Man how ma binum tuda?
Be captain la tuda.
Be captain ñeta. So nga doore bena. Ñaar ba aga ñeta.
Ñeta waaw.
Li yomb de li PhD la.
Te am na beneen bala nga yofu.
Li PhD la li stars yi ma gis nii.
Moo tax ñun ñu daw.
Moo tax bëggoon nga ko soog.
Bëggoon naa ko waaye daw naa. Man ñemewuma.
Non bii du dem. Ñetti stars yi ma gis yi góol yi ma gis nii man dafa xaw a réex man.
And also Jenaba quickly to tell you that a lot has changed. A lot has changed. And then we also know that a lot of attention is now on the armed forces. Hence the revival of so many traditions that were somewhat lost a little bit. And I'm sure before the end of June or thereabout, we will witness another mega, activity, an event which is going to be a competition called the drill competition. And this is going to be, between all the serving battalions of the Gambia Armed Forces. It's going to be a day-long thing, but it's going to be very, very, very challenging. Because drilling is the bedrock of discipline in the military. So they get so discipline. You have to go through drill first. If you can master that and then be able to do it, then your discipline column, there will be no question mark hanging over it. And then you'll begin to see.
Time bi jaamu nañu waaye baala leen ma rek su ñoo def jox gaay seen rang si bu leen tuur ndox man roose yu ma dee gis noonu man understand ma bu leen tuur nit ñi ndox yéen tamit jël nit ñi di leen tuur ndox seen boppay
am nga civil ni da ngeen ñaanal borom ne ko yal na seeda sa kaw ak yooyu
waaw yéen ndox bi ngeen di sotti ci borom bi ngeen mu seeda non man boobu jaaxal na ma thank you so much Mr. Sanyang for joining us. It has been an interesting one and do not hesitate. I think platforms as such coming here to talk to the public it's part of the reforms that we are talking about. Because you talked about in a normal circumstance, 25 years ago, then you wouldn't be here.
That is why the CDS said to you guys that we have an open door media policy right now to be able to engage with you at all levels.
Wow, ñemeleen media bi ñun duñuy maata ñun soo ñëwee wax ñu dégg bi ñu dégg bi nga open si ñun tem ñu support la sax Ibrahima.
Absolutely.
Pousse la. So we'll go for a short commercial break, and when we come back, we'll head right onto Sports World. We have Mamadou Gajaga. We'll be right back.
QCell company bu ëppa client yu ees yu koy jëfandikoo si biir réew mi QCell am 4G plus coverage bu gën a yaatu si biir réew mi internet bu gën a gaaw ñetti yoon naataangoom yi kon nag toxul léegi dal di dial *335# dal di bànneexu 4G bu dëggantaan QCell network Gambia bu ñu gën a wóolu.
Q Money, the biggest mobile money service in the Gambia, has taken mobile banking to the next level. Now, you can link your Q Money wallet with your bank account. Yes, link your Ajib or EcoBank accounts with your Q Money wallet and get instant access to your cash anytime. No need to queue at the bank anymore. Transfer funds from your bank account to your wallet or your wallet to your bank account using Q Money Bank Link is the fastest, most secure, and convenient way to transfer funds between your wallet and bank account. For more information, call our customer care on 133. Q Money, Sunyu Kalpe. Terms and conditions apply. QCell woni GSM company ɓurɗon janɗude ko leydi Gambia ɗo e QCell 4G plus coverage on ɓuri yawude laaɓi tati ɓe woni poɗodirde ɓen. Waɗu dial star 335# fi wawa nafittorade ko woni 4G. QCell network ɓuraɗo holorede ko leydi Gambia. Check out the all-new Tigo 8 at S-Pass Motors. Call 3522-222 or 353-2222 for more information. Cherry.
All right, welcome back from that short commercial break.
I wish you can hear what Jenna was saying.
No, what's the background? You won't you feel?
I wish you can hear.
Hanga yo wangane tawi fajar bi do ko musa interpret fi. Manit luma wax duñ ko fi interpret.
Tawi fajar
background bi.
So manda sama nolo.
So fi nekk ni Ibrahima man dama la baye nga jekali because sports wala des and then ñu dem tamit set Tobaski ak style team bi. Seen préparation si at Q City su ko defee ñu xool lu gaay nar xam nga ëllëg dañu war a egg si teddu Charm Creation gi dégg nga ma dara affaire si ëllëg la
mooy Tobaski ak style bi Q City so make sure
ngeen stay tuned su ko defee di ngeen mën a xam update bi lan la laajte because fi mu nekk nii moom digga affaire si du mën a dem Gajaga thank you so much for joining us give us what's happening in the world of sports mu ne da nga xam dara xawma tawi suba mu ne
tawi fajar
mu ne dang ci xam dara
boobu nañ ko tegee boor
waaye man understand nga man ba léegi
te xam nga tawi suba boobu noonu boobu du pour xale yi
tawi fajar bu ànda
waaye lan la dee nekka
tawi fajar déglu
waaw
nañ dugal si sport
waaw tawi fajar bi may ma
bu ànda gowe saaf
waaw léegi nañ dugal si sports bi It's wonderful, man, to be here again, talk about sports, and this time is the Media Run Challenge. You know, members of the media have challenged themselves to do some physical activity, and in that way they're doing a run. They've been doing it for 2 years, so the anniversary is on Saturday the 11th of June. Joining me in the studio is Amadou Oba to talk about it. When we talk about a run, it means this, using steps to go, front, go, come back. Amadou, welcome.
I'm excited to be here. Thank you so much, Gadia. It's a pleasure to be here again.
The Media Run 2-year anniversary is going to be formally celebrated on Saturday, the 11th of June. Tell us about it.
Yeah, it's a full package, like you said. The Media Run Challenge is taking 2 years. It's already taken 2 years on Monday, the 6th of June. And we all know how it started with a very minimum number of people, less than 10 people. I mean, the brains behind the Media Run, the likes of Sang Mendy, Du, Jibril Jassi, the likes of Big Sam, Babu Karnani C, of course, Prof. Jabai, Dija Jawo, Zainab Chow, just that quite quantity. I mean, having this initiative to, you know, run a 9-kilometer distance and to burn some calories, burn some fats, and look at where we are now, 2 years, and it's...
We'll come back to Amadou. I mean, we need to just continue saying something.
Yes, basically, we are talking about the Media Run Challenge. The Media Run, of course, is a group of members who came together, you know, organized a run for the media, those who work in the media industry, and the whole purpose is to keep fit and stay healthy. And in that, we've tried in as much as possible to encourage a lot of media personnel, and it have grown more and more for the past 2 years, and it's exactly clocking 2 years. The anniversary or the celebration for this particular Media Run Challenge is going to be on the 11th of June, that is on Saturday. That is just in 2 days' time. So basically there is going to be a whole lot of issues, and we'll be talking to somebody in the studio who will tell us all the details about the Media Run Challenge. Well, but of course we all know in the media.
I love the fact that, people in the media sector coming together, gathering at one place, doing this. It's important, Gajaga, because we know how busy people that work in the media, how busy they are. Let's take a good example. Momoru Gajaga is a very busy man. You don't have the time. I can see you struggle a lot, sometimes to go do some exercise. But coming together, and doing this, I think it's important.
Yes, definitely. It's very, very important. It's something that we encourage every journalist to do. Most of the time, media work is very hectic and it takes a very long time. Sometimes you spend hours and hours until late at the office. So if you don't do any physical activity, health-wise, it's not good for you. And, sometimes most of the food that we eat when you're working in the media is junk food. So that junk food is not healthy for you. So
absolutely.
Once you are not doing any form of physical activity like a run, like jogging, or at least doing some form of physical activity to be able to stay healthy, you find it difficult. You might have some health complications like diabetes, hypertension, and all of these non-communicable diseases. Well, Amadou Tamba joins me. He was telling me about how the Media Run Challenge is going to be celebrated. It's on Saturday.
Yes, like I said earlier on, the Media Run Challenge ticked 2 years on Monday, June 6th. It's exactly 2 years since its formation. And now on Saturday, June 11th, we are commemorating the 2 years of its existence. Of course, now we have a larger crowd. Initially, like I said, it started with just less than 10 people, and now we're talking about hundreds of people coming to converge for this special day. And this time around, the package is so special that it also coincides with the International Day of the African Child. And that being said, the Media Run Challenge is also partnering with other stakeholders or institutions that also have a similar, that attach similar significance or importance to the African child. The likes of UNICEF and CPA, the Child Protection Alliance, and of course the Child Fund, the Gambia. We're also partnering with them, and other partner institutions. So we're looking forward to not only seeing the media personalities in the ground, but also other sectors of life. I overheard your conversation with Balde. It's important that people get the attitude of, burning calories or doing exercise. That's just the idea. The idea is to inspire people to take up the attitude or the habit of doing exercise. Because you look at Balde throughout this morning till afternoon, he's just seated on one platform talking and giving news, giving information and having dialogue or conversations. You go to the bank, a teller would sit in a bank from 8 a.m. in the morning to 4 p.m. Even your breakfast meets you where you are. You need to call a security officer or someone to buy breakfast for you. You go to the workshops like the skills training centers, the tailors. A tailor man, we're almost approaching Tobaski now. You're talking about the Tobaski style or fashion. It's important that everyone gets the attitude or the habit of doing exercise. Like you said, you need to burn some calories, but also you need to ensure that your body is healthy to avoid the non-communicable diseases like you just mentioned. So that is the general idea.
How is it going to be celebrated? Is it a form of a symposium? There is going to be speeches and the likes. But first, is the actual run itself going to happen?
I like that question because I know some would have thought, okay, it's going to be celebrated differently. Hence, it coincides with a commemoration of the International Day of the African Child. But that doesn't change the run. We are going to run. And it starts at 8 a.m., the usual routine from Westfield to traffic lights. And we have, of course, respective dignitaries that will deliver some statements. We have our dignitaries from the CPA, from our partners like the Child Fund, who each would have a statement to make. And we have a special theme for the run as well, which is we're running to eliminate harmful practices against children in commemoration of the African child. So it's important that people get the idea or the habit of doing exercise, but alongside as well, getting the message of the day.
I'm looking at media personalities. Earlier on talked about how spending long hours at the office working. Probably maybe for some of us, you can go out to get your stories, to do a report. But aside from that, mainly you are at the office. How is it important for somebody to do physical activities like a run, or at least maybe a little bit of jogging and things like that?
It is important. If you look at our life, especially as media personnel, I always say this, even our social life is being trimmed off completely. You don't have a social life. Ibrahim Balde, do them attend Gente, you would not go for naming ceremony. You called, oh, okay, I'll try and see.
Even sometimes, even some funerals.
Yeah, even funerals, okay, I'll try and see whether I'll be able to attend the burial. Unfortunately, you can't because of your work. Right now, in fact, I'm supposed to attend a burial at 10 a.m. in Sinchu 5 Junction. Unfortunately, I have to be here. So this shows that it's important that at least the little time you have. We are saying every month we're doing the run twice, only, I mean, in a fortnight. Try to get that, and it's not a competition. It's not like, okay, who finishes first or who finishes last. No, sometimes if you look at the run, you are always there, and you know, you inspire me so much, Gajega, because at some point, you as a media person would even trek from Brikama to your work office. This is what we want media personnel and other walks of life, those that have spent so much, I mean, of their time seated at one place to take that habit, to take that attitude that, look, it's not about competition, who finishes the lane, but it's just about you doing some exercise, because it's important. Look, you are seated in just one place the whole day. Of course, people like us reporters, and that is why this time around, I'm even challenging our CEOs, our managers, our editors, the others, the Babkar CCs, let them come forward.
Even our manager, Malika, the general manager.
Yes, the Malika, I am challenging you on camera, QTV management and CEOs, to come and join us in the run, because at the end of the day, we have, I mean, all age category in the run. We have boys, we have girls, we have ladies, we have gentlemen, we have the older, people, we have the younger people, we have both men and women. Everyone is involved, and we don't only have the media in the run. We have other walks of life that comes. The last time we had someone came all the way from Bansang. He was inspired through the publicity that was going through, and he said he has to take part in this run. So sometimes you would see someone like, Babu Karnanisi will run up front there, come back, and, you know, carry on Geneva Sonko. Come on, let's go.
Let's go, yeah.
You know, encourage them to keep moving.
Encouragement.
And if I joke, I am tired, I start walking. Oh, how was it? How was your day? Oh, you start chatting and moving. It's just about you not being static at one place.
And can we also say that it's not only about the run, you know, trying to encourage people to live a healthy lifestyle through form of physical activity, but also that networking, bringing people together?
Absolutely. In fact, that is also key. You see, if you look at the objectives of the Media Run Challenge, it's set up in such a way that we have about 3-4 in sequence, and they are set up in a matter of priority. And one of which is also the networking, the socialization. And that is why you always hear us saying, come and meet new friends and make old friends. Because you might be, I mean, privileged to hear Momodu Gajega or see him on TV all the time, but you have never met him in person. And you know, if you don't know a person, it's easier for you to interact with a person if you know him well. This is an opportunity for people to come, galvanize their efforts, try to network, try to interact, get to know each other. Who knows, you might even meet up with a teller, a bank, or someone working somewhere. And at some point, the Gambia is a small country. You might need a favor, or you might need some assistance or support from someone. And you know, lucky for you, you meet the person that you've met in the media run. So
I've been part of it before, but I've also seen some people who are not also working in the media being part of it. Is it open to the public?
Another important point. It's open for all. The Media Run Challenge is owned by media personnels, initiated by media personnels. That is why the brand is the Media Run Challenge. But it is for everybody, all walks of life, irrespective of what type of work you do. That is why, if you look at the activities recently, the runs that we have, it encompasses all walks of life. Even the recent advert the promo that we're running, we're saying we're inviting everybody, even those seated out there, those that are, I mean, in their respective works, the tailors, the bankers, the nurses, the doctors, the security personnel. We're calling them everybody, even those in the market. Let them come forward and join us in the run. Because the run also, part of its objectives is we want to have another big run in December. And all these monthly runs are geared towards that. We are preparing for something. And that is, by December, we're hoping to have a mega run that will be initiated or made in a way to raise funds. That would be the primary objective. And these funds would be raised to support students who are going doing their journalism course at the Media Academy for Journalism and Communications at Majak. We all know that we have recently seen the interest of young people pursuing the journalism career as either journalists or communicators. Maybe then that privilege wasn't there because we don't have so much formal journalism schools in the country. But now, with Majak coming on board, the University of the Gambia, Majak is saying, look, we want to have a mega run in December. And this mega run, we will have fundraisings during the mega run. We will invite partners and stakeholders. And together, any resources that is being mobilized through that mega run will be used to support the students that are pursuing their journalism career at Majak, but they are underprivileged or couldn't have the means to support their tuition fees.
For me, if there is anyone to be challenged about this media run, is sports journalists. We have a lot of them, both on radio, television, newspaper, and some of them hardly even move a step, talk less of a run or any form of physical activity.
And that is sad. That is a shame, actually. Preaching something that you're not acting. And this is why, on camera again, I am challenging all the sport journalists, and not only sport journalists, but even sport editors, to come on board and join us in the run. It's not only running. It's about run, walk, trot, jog. Any means that you could do. Just finish the lane and burn some calories.
Amadou, I wish we can go on and on, talk about the media run, but it's on Saturday, SAP 8. It's between Westfield to the traffic light, so you're all invited to come and take part in this. Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you so much. It's a pleasure to be here, Gajaga.
Back to you, Balde.
Yes, thank you very much, Gajaga. And I hope everybody will come out at least to be part of the media run. I mean, it's important that you guys are able to bring this up to this level. So, you know, I wish you all the best of luck. Yes. Well, Gajaga, thank you. That's all we have for sports. And as you know, tomorrow is Tobaski Act Style at Q City. And of course, we'll be showing a whole lot of designs. And of course, designers will be there. So it's important for you to be there. And we'll be linking Churchill Balde at the moment at Q City. Churchill, hello. Oh, okay. All right, then we'll take a short break. After the break, then we'll talk to Churchill Balde. We'll be back.
QCell, GSM company minna yirwa tariata Gambia Bankoka. QCell la 4G plus network ya banko bela mura. Andung ala internet o tariata sidula saba katambi nyongola. Sawi sahin, yesta 335 kumani. Yadati kemuna fang 4G sobewa. QCell, Gambia la network lanna yaringo. Q Money, the biggest mobile money service in the Gambia, has taken mobile banking to the next level. Now, you can link your Q Money wallet with your bank account. Yes, link your Ajib or EcoBank accounts with your Q Money wallet and get instant access to your cash anytime. No need to queue at the bank anymore. Transfer funds from your bank account to your wallet or your wallet to your bank account using Q Money Bank Link is the fastest, most secure and convenient way to transfer funds between your wallet and bank account. For more information, call our customer care on 133. Q Money, Sunyu Kalpe. Terms and conditions apply. Check out the all-new Tigo 8 at S-Pass Motors. Call 3522-222 or 353-2222 for more information. Sherry.
Tobaski ak style bu ne jar na QTV waaye 2022 bii ak suñu ñawkat yi ak QTV li ñu nar a wone dafa nar a tegu ci cas
bii dafa nar a spécial ndax xam ngeen li tax dañu yokku cere dolli ñeex nekk nag event bu mag boo xam ne ñëpp a ngi koy xaar dafa bëri nag ay surprise ñang baalo
suñu ñëwkat yi ñu am ci réew mi nee nañu pare nañ ba pare di jot waaw kañ la nag on the 10 June incha allahu rabbi fan lay xewee ca Q City ticket yi ñaata
ordinary 400 VIP 700 dong lañ leen laaj
waxtu wa kañ la juróom-ñaari waxtu 7 o'clock bëgg naa saal ba riir ñëpp toog
ñu ne mboor waalee ga ca biir ngir bégal askan wi ak kan
ak Cheikh Fall mi nga xam ne moo ànd ak waa Daaray Lamp Fall Cheikh Fall dina indi téeméeri tam ak junney sabar
maa la wax lii ticket yi nag ku ko bëgg am na Qcell ci bunt bi ak Q City ci bunt bi ordinary 400 VIP
As the fastest growing GSM company in the Gambia, Qcell has the widest 4G plus coverage in the country, 3 times faster internet speed than our competitors. So switch now and dial *335# and enjoy what true 4G feels like. Qcell, the Gambia's trusted network.
It's QTV this morning, and of course, from that break, as you know, this Friday it's Tobaski and style at Q City 5.0, and of course, there'll be a whole lot of designers and a whole lot of talent will be shown that day. That's Friday, which is tomorrow at Q City, and we'll talk to Churchill Balde. You know, to tell us the preparation and some of the activities that are currently on at Q City. Hello? Hello, is Churchill on the line?
Yeah, hello. Mr. Balde, how are you?
Yes, Churchill, how are you doing?
I'm doing quite very well. Thank you. And yourself?
I can see things are glittering at the moment at Q City.
Exactly. What I'm seeing right now is just enticing. I'm so excited to be here right now. This is the preparation for the Tobaski style event, as you can see. The team are already here doing their setup. You know, we have the lights all over, glooming all over the place. The place is glittering right now, as you can see.
So tell me.
You can see the stage behind me.
So tell me.
Everything is being displayed right now. The team are doing quite a very good job right now.
At the moment, it's like the setup is totally different from last year. I can see a total difference when it comes to the setup and the settings of the VIP and ordinary.
Yes, this is 5.0, as you already know. We cannot do the same thing every year. What the concept behind Tobaski style is to bring creativity. It's arts, it's entertainment. So we're trying to bring creativity into the art. So what you've been seeing in previous years is far different from what you are seeing now. This is 5.0, so it has to be on a very high note, as you can see. This is why we've given you the stage. As you can see, I'm on a riser stage right now. The stage is raised up, it's above. This is where the models are going to do their catwalk. So in past years, what they were doing was on the flat ground. But this year, 5.0, we are taking it onto another level. As you can see, it's above.
Mbokay 5.0 dina toj Q City. Wax ñu tuuti. Gis nañ place baa ngi rafet pare ngeen ko. Ba pare lu ci des mooy bés bi ñëw rek ñu dem toj foofu.
Waaw toj la ñoo def comme noo ko waxee 5.0 la comme ni ko ñëpp xamee daal 5.0 la du yomba waaw ba pare not lii rek li ngeen a gis rek lii comme lii lu ndaw la wax ne leen ne leen isil Cheikh Fall wax ne leen ne leen isil Mor Wali loolu moo waral stage bi nu mel ni right now pour ñoom rek waaw ñu ñëw def ay bagages isil ñu seen sabar yi seen tamay waaw ñu def ay affaire because Tobaski style is all about ambience la ñu wax so xaaral ma sax ma doxantu bi si kanam tuuti.
waaw defal catwalk bi
suma cameraman bi Cheikh
defal catwalk bi.
waaw loolu laa bëgg a def modèle yi fii la ñoo starté. waaw dama wala modèle yi fu ñu dooree gis nga fii.
sa catwalk dang na de.
xoolal modèle yi fii la ñoo dooree fii.
waaw
ñu dox di jaagar laa la wax nii di jaagar fii di ko def fii Badouman dox yu bandi gis nga dox yu bandi bu ma la mayee.
waaw non bandi nga.
waaw xam nga man moom yi fi bandi rek laa def macha allah moo tax Tobaski style at bi du yomba 5.0 lañ wax.
modèle bu
ba pare tamit ma bamtuwaat lu ma bëgg a nit ñi xam mooy show bi dafa start 7 PM 7 p.m. Please, general send tickets. Limited tickets out there right now because we are almost sold out. Almost sold out. Limited tickets right now. So ñoo xamné jëna ngi sen tickets ma leena encourage ngeen jëna sen tickets. Limited sold tickets lañ right now. Ba pare tamit time bi ma ngay re-emphasize on the timing. 7 p.m. we are kicking off the show. And then we are starting with Mor Wali. Mor Wali mo open show bi. Wow. So ko xamné bu ko lo miss performance Mor Wali bi rek ma la ñaan pour nga téla ñew féké performance am bi nga mëna bokk ci li ñoo wax ambiance.
Yes. Churchill ñaan ñoo wara nekk designer yu fa nekk.
Waaw designer yi macha allah am nañ ku ñëw wax Charm Creation Gambia fii la moo def di ñëw yu baax yow moom yow are no stranger to Charm Creation yoo xam nga lu moo def last year ñëwoon na mu toj fi mu ne bii bu ne disee suñu dafa rajaxee place bi am nañ ku ñëw wax Kara Creation gis nga lu moo def solo ñoom Kajaga si news bi am nañ ñoom ku ñëw wax Aka Creation am nañ ñoom Olis Trend ANS Designs ba pare lu si gën a neex mooy this year Tobaski Style 5.0 is going international laa la wax we are going international.
You breaking borders.
A special designer coming all the way from Senegal. Understand nga this year it's international defuñ dara lu yomba. This is the first time it is happening. We are crossing the border going all the way to Senegal. So kenn xamut in next years in few years to come mën nañu am from Ghana mën nañu am from Nigeria mën nañu dem ba Europe daal daanaka.
Waaw. Gis naa ne affaire si moom dina toj te dina rajaxe.
No du yomba comme lu ma la wax rek 5.0 la so it has to be on a very high note. It has to be on a very high note. Dara munta seeda. This time we are coming with a difference. We are coming with style because Tobaski ak style itself style lañu wax. So style lañ leen nekk di jox ren nag gisaagu leen dara lii lu ndaw la lii comme lii lu ndaw la.
What time do you want your guests to be seated?
Sharp 7 p.m. la ñoo door so man su desee si man like let them make their way to Q City ñu aga fi at least 6:30 they are all seated because comme lu ma leen ko waxee we have limited tickets so we are expecting a huge number of people to come and grace the occasion understand so léegi pour nga mun a ñëw am a very good spot a very nice spot foo nga teel a ñëw so show bi mu ngi kickstart 7 p.m. so man I'll advise everybody to be here latest 6:30 going to 6:45 you are all seated and then sharp 7 p.m. we kickstart the show. Wow, man daal su ma amee lu ma gënal daal man loolu laa bëgg.
Churchill Balde, thank you for talking to us on this morning.
Thank you very much. And then a reminder tamit pour wax leen ne we have high stakeholders coming to grace the occasion. Waaw comme ni ma leen ko waxee woon rek ëllëg di ngeen gis yëpp. We have high stakeholders coming to grace the occasion. Gis ñaw yi, gis designer yi, waaw, mashallah. So thank you very much for having me on the platform once more. It's your boy Churchill Balde and see you tomorrow on Tobaski Style 5.0.
Churchill Balde there at Q City, getting ready for the Tobaski Style, which is going to be tomorrow. It's already here. So get ready to be there. If you don't get your shoes, prepare. Put on your shoes, put on your dancing shoes, because the likes of Morwali and of course Sehfal, 100 small drums will be there. How do you call it tama? Tama in English. Well, viewers, this is the ad infinitum of the program. Until we come your way again next week, have a wonderful day. Bye-bye.